could take slides from it and use it within the curriculum and use it in your English lesson or use it in your history lesson. And I'll reveal a little bit more about that as we go. So the PowerPoint and the supplementary slides that go with it were used in a pilot last academic year, and we shared that pilot with our colleagues in Hull, East Yorkshire, Greater Links and ourselves in York and North Yorkshire, and we evaluated it across schools and FE colleges. In a nutshell, briefly, the evaluations that came out were really positive. We were very pleased, and the focus for them, really, for me, the takeaway was that if I were in a school using this resource, I'd be looking at using it during specific events such as National Careers Week, National Apprenticeship Week, the school or the college's Careers Week, you know, a STEM event, an Ada Lovelace Day, whatever your college or school are celebrating, there's a use that this resource can play. So when you've got National Careers Week and you're asking your teachers in every subject to focus on careers within their delivery that day, and they say how, this resource is how, and I'll come on to that in a moment. So yeah, it's now available for you to use and to share across our area. So as I've already said, the resource is literally just a PowerPoint. It's nothing that no one else couldn't pull together if they had the time and access to the resources. But we don't all want to reinvent the wheel. It's a really straightforward resource that you can take and tweak and enable it to fit your need. But in its simplicity, there's complexity because you can do so much with it. Sometimes it's like, where do I start? So we created a teacher's guide, and on these slides, which I will share with you after the event, is the live link to the teacher's guide and the teacher's notes. And what that guide does is it takes the teachers through every single slide one by one, what's in there, what they can do with it, but explaining to them that it isn't time bound, it isn't level bound, it isn't key stage bound, it's to be used as you feel fit. We've gone for a real centre point with all of the information that any practitioner within an education resource can take and differentiate to meet the need of their students, because we're not going to prescribe what you teach a level 2 group age 17 or a key stage 3 group in year 8 or 9. We want the experts of those groups to do that. What we want to provide is the information and the resource to do it comfortably and in as straightforward a way as possible. So the slides themselves, I'm going to show you some examples of the slides. I'm not running through every slide with you. I'm not going to patronise you for a start, but also it would take probably about 35 minutes and it's not what people want. So I'm going to show you some samples of some slides to illustrate how all of the resources are simple, attractive to our audience, really, really user-friendly, and all of them have interactive elements to them that can engage young people and tutors alike. Okay, so here's my first example. So this is one of the slides that we took from the history pages, and it's just to give you a snapshot of how the slides look. And as you can see on here, you've got snippets of information to grab attention, to grab young people's attention and to grab the teachers' attention and to build upon. So there's a little bit there about when the NHS was created, some of the essential values of the NHS, the fact that it's one of the top 10 employers, a visual there of lots of different uniforms and different people, and a video. The videos are all embedded in the slides. This video is 4 minutes, and on average, they're all short and sweet like that. You could take this slide and you could use it for a health and social care lesson. You could use it for a history lesson. You could use it for a research during PSHE lesson. You could use it if you were doing a skills focused lesson. There's many ways that bits of this can be taken and built upon, or just used as they are as a general discussion point with your students. All of the slides, again, as I've said, have gone for that middle ground of simplicity and ease to use. So another example here I thought I wanted to share because the colour scheme is nice. Everything's calm, everything's easy to look at for our students, but also it's simple, it's visual. There's pictures, there's words, there's imagery there to help students understand. So again, this was just one taken, and it could be any of the ones from English, from history, from a specific career area. What skills do you need to work within a certain base in the NHS? What skills do you get from working in the NHS, and so on and so forth. So each of the slides have links through to skills and where that fits within the curriculum. There are also slides such as this, which you could take and you could make a poster, you could add it to your website, you could create a flyer. And there's a couple of these. There's this one and this one for one's jobs at the NHS and one's care. And both of them are trying to illustrate to young people the fact that there are 350 different job areas within the NHS. Not just doctors and nurses and midwives and receptionists when you go to A&E. There's a whole host of jobs, and this gets people, again, looking at the different areas. And again, you could just take this slide on its own in a careers lesson and ask students choose 3 of these jobs, research them, come back, write a report. There's many things that you could utilise them for. Again, here with care, I thought this was particularly good because I imagine, and I have no evidence of this, but I imagine if you were to ask the average person in the street, what does a care job look like? The majority of people immediately think of it, care for the elderly or care for children. And what this is illustrative is, yes, there's care workers, care home managers, social workers, but you can work within the care industry without actually being one of those roles. You could be an assistant, you could be a housekeeper, you could be involved in the maintenance, you could be a team leader. There's many roles. So every slide gives you the opportunity to create an interest, be it for a lesson, be it for research, be it for widening understanding for young people and staff. We've taken in the slides, all of the LMI and all of the slides is current and up to date, so you can be confident that you're not telling them something that's 3 or 4 or 5 years old. This slide, ironically, having just said that, is actually 21-22. We're in the process across the region of having the updated Shape Your Future booklets released. They'll be available after January. So we've put these on here for now because they are still current when we've cross-referenced them, but they will be updated online as and when they come through. And we've one here for York and North Yorkshire and one here for Hull and Lincolnshire. So all the LMI and all the slides is current and it's adaptable to meet the individual area. So if you take this and delivered it in Sheffield, you could make it and fit it to South Yorkshire. And you can see here yourselves, if you look at the York one, it's focusing in on the skills, the useful subjects, the salaries, and it mirrors the slides within the presentations. And again, if you look at York's and then we look at Hull's, they're very similar, just different pictures and what have you. So again, all of the LMI slides are current and relevant with links at the bottom with live links, useful for staff and students. Okay, so that's how the slides look and that's how you can use them. You can take them and you can be inspired by an individual slide to deliver, a 20-minute session or a one-on-one conversation, or you could take a few slides and create your own lesson. There's also information on these slides specific to pathways. So you could take these slides and use them with your Key Stage 3s, looking at post-16 options, your Key Stage 4s, looking at post-18 or post-16 options, and so on. And again, just to show you how the slides look so that what you're working with can help and support students across the bar. And as I said earlier, these are pitched right down in the middle. If you've got, if your ability level is extremely high or lower, you can tweak these to meet those needs and those age ranges. The value of work experience, I don't need to wax lyrical about this. We all know this is absolutely critical for every young person. But what this is expressing for this scenario is, young people wanting to work within the NHS and care actually probably need work experience. It's not a luxury, it's a must-have. It's also illustrating to young people the power of volunteering, of part-time work and internships and so on. So again, and each of these slides, I'll just flick through a few, have got links at the bottom. I've got current information that's useful for students and staff supporting those students. Here's one on supported internship, which I think a lot of people struggle to wrap their head around what these are, how they work, what's involved. And again, as you can see, there's links on the left there to Project Choice and another project. There's a video there embedded, which is Soul's story. And there's a little clip there from Soul and so on. So it's trying to illustrate to staff and young people the value of unpicking this slide further and researching and finding out more. There are slides on all the key routes. So here we've just put a sample in. There's one here from the university route. And if you can see here at the side, the signpost, all of the signposts are live links. And Angela, who wrote all these amazing slides, particularly loves the signposts. She thinks they're wonderful. So I have to point out the signpost to you all. But yeah, you would just click on that and it would take you through to that resource live and for the students to use and the staff. BTECs, T-level, obviously focusing on our vocational technical education for our young people in the area. And again, a video there of someone on a T-level work placement. Again, sort of really pushing the importance of work experience. And finally, apprenticeships. This slide covers apprenticeships specific to the NHS and the care industry. And there's live links to the NHS careers, but there's also amazing apprenticeships in .gov. And you could tweak this. You could be aware of vacancies within your local area. You could add it to the slide so that young people could pick up on that. And again, there's a video there. It's a short video. So everything's short and crisp and clear and easy. And there's no work involved for the teachers delivering this. They can just follow it. Okay, so hopefully you've got a taste now of how the slides look and how you can use them, how you can take them and tweak them and make them your own. And as I said at the start, one of the things that we picked up on was the fact that we wanted to take subjects out and illustrate to teachers in school when careers leader is asking you, careers is a curriculum-wide subject, everyone teaches careers, this is how they can do it. So we just took these core areas. You could use any subject, throw a subject and we can come up with a slide that would enable the teacher to teach careers within that subject. So to show you here, I've got English. Can everyone see that? Does it come up with English? I can't see anyone. Can someone yet? Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So if you look here down the left, I'm not going to put it in slideshow, I'll just show you quickly. You can see that the branded nature of the slides are all, easy to recognise, colour scheme and so on. So this is for an English teacher to take and deliver during National Careers Week, how English supports future careers in the NHS and care sector. A little bit of blurb there about, the benefits of English for this sector, the transferable skills you get from English to take into the sector. And I actually think if you were to spend time studying that, flipping it back, the transferables you get from NHS for English, if you did work experience. A little bit on other careers linked to English that's specifically useful for careers. A task for the students to do, looking about using their English to support the career in the NHS, and then some live resources that students can use. So a very quick 6-slide session, a teacher could, at the end of every English session during National Careers Week, could set this task or a task similar that suits their young person. Okay, so that's just one example. We could go into each of them, but they're all almost identical, but they just have different tasks and obviously different skills and different links to that. And that's where we can really, really illustrate to any staff in any school how they can teach careers in the curriculum. It's as simple as that. And finally, just really for the benefit of Angela, because this will make her smile, there's another example of a signpost and different roles, stepping into the NHS, a paramedic's journey, different subject areas. So again, there's a few slides in there that have got specific information, graduates, health, that young people can access. Okay, so I've galloped through that. I'm sorry if I was talking very quickly, but I'm really conscious of the time and the weather. Thank you for listening. That is, in a nutshell, what the resource has to offer, the potential it has for you to flex and to create and to utilise how you want to do it. But equally, when you get the PowerPoint, you could just take what we've done and just deliver it as it sits by itself. I've popped a few links here, not links, contact details for our Career Hub partners in Greater Links and Hull and East Yorkshire, and obviously as well as ourselves in York and North Yorkshire. We have shared this resource with our colleagues in the other career hubs, so you can contact them if you wanted to talk about it or potentially use it or share it with colleagues. Equally, I'd be more than happy through the Careers Hub at nibep.org.uk to answer any questions if you think of something later on, or if you receive the resource and you're struggling with it, or actually want to share something with me because I could enhance it that way. That would be really nice. So we've got a few minutes left, and I'm hoping that the I can't see who's still here apart from one person. So I hope you're all still there. And if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask, obviously I'm here. I believe Tina's here from the NHS, but again,
I am
this storm. Are you there? Hello, Tina.
Finally got it.
And also Ange, who wrote the resource. So I'm going to stop the presentation so that I can see any lovely faces and answer any questions. And is there anything in the chat we need to answer?
I think we've gone through the chat as we've been going, and I've been replying.
Fab.
So thank you for everybody that's popped that in there. And Sharon, thank you for noting that on there, and we'll keep Tina updated on making sure that we've got the areas covered specific for you. There is a question with regards from Everald Hindley on here about having a few more NHS careers linked to the English. I think just to express that the resources are larger than we've demonstrated today, because obviously for time, so when you do get the actual resource pack on there, but please do feed back to us, because obviously we can add to this as well. So thank you for popping that question on there.
And I would throw out there for anyone that does use the resource, when you've used it and when you're evaluating it, particularly with young people, please share that back to us, because we did share it with schools and we did evaluate it. But I think ongoing review and evaluation and development is absolutely crucial in this area. And as Ange said, when you get the zip file, it's massive. There's loads and loads on there. We just wanted to give you a taste today without actually just going through every slide, because it could potentially take way too long. Can you see that, Ange?
Sorry, it's Friday and I'm on mute there, guys.
Yeah.
So somebody's just added, for each of the subjects, it would be nice, as with lots of careers that are linked to the curriculum, so just around that English area. So that's great feedback. Thank you. We'll have a further look and just double check what we've got in there and maybe what else we can add to that subject area. Thank you.
Yeah, I think earlier when I was looking through the slides and what to share, I noticed we've not done one for art and design, but now we've started. It's become. It sounds a little blasé when I say it, but any subject we could pull a slide together, following this model for any subject connected to national health. And I must stress across the board with this is a really great piece of work we've done with our colleagues at the NHS and care sector, but you could do this with construction, you could do this with health and with hair and beauty. You could use this model across many career areas, and it's something that maybe we might look at, or you might want to look at.
Yeah, I think also as well, sorry to interrupt, Lindsay, it's just great to challenge the stereotypes as well within those job roles. I mean, I've personal background in the NHS before I came on board with the Careers Hub, and I think we are still working towards changing those stereotypes within the NHS and those job roles. So it's a big picture careers wise. So yeah, thanks for all the input in the chat box. Thanks, Lindsay.
Okay, has anyone got any last questions? Because we're 2 minutes to 4, so I had hoped to let you go back out into the wind and rain a little bit earlier, but I certainly don't want to make you late. Is there any last questions in the last couple of minutes?
Can I just say something, Lindsay? It's Tina again. I just want to say a huge thank you to Ange and yourself for pulling it together. I think it's an excellent resource that you've managed to pull together for us, and I'm sure schools right across Humber and North Yorkshire will be really grateful for it and will use it as well. We'll make sure we're having a relaunch of our Careers Hub website, so I'll make sure that we get these resources uploaded onto the Careers Hub website as well, for ease for people to access them, because I know they are quite a large file, aren't they? And when you send them
enormous,
there's lots in there.
It did become quite the monster, Tina, at one point, but we reined it in. So
I could have gone on.
Make sure we share that, and then also the recording. If you share the link with the recording, we'll make sure that goes out, so anybody that wasn't able to attend today's session, then they can still have access to that as well. That's great. But thank you very much for all your hard work on it.
Oh no, thank you.
Thanks, Tina.
Yes, absolutely, Sharon. Yeah.
No
I'll upload
problem
them
at
on
all.
link. Yeah. Lovely. Well, with 1 minute to spare, I hope that's been as useful as it would seem from responses. And as I said, open invitation, open door. If you want to email, if you want to chat, please do get in touch. We'll share this recording afterwards, and I will share it with the people that didn't make it, because I am thinking something to do with the weather, because there were 30 people, which you always expect a wee bit of a dropout, but I think this weather has thrown a curveball on a Friday afternoon, so we will share it with everyone that applied.
Power cuts going on in the area, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I've been and I think that's why I've not got my camera on, because connectivity is not great here in the village as well. So.
Oh, bless you. Oh, well, we will share it, and then we can share it out in another time if need be, Tina, if you get a response that you want it again.